Hi everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday episode of Zero to One, and welcome to some new faces as well. We're really happy that you're here. If you're unaware, Zero to One is a weekly session that we do for the Do a Circle community and those who may be interested in, just being part of the community as well. And it's really trying to share practical advice with the members on ways that they can, you know, do even great things, either as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, maybe they're working in a freelance capacity or something like that as well. You're all very welcome, and we're really glad to have you here. And yeah, we're now up to episode 48, which we started earlier this year. It's kind of fantastic. We're getting close to the 50 mark, and every session we've done has been really, really, really good. And the feedback has been very positive as well. But we're also mindful that because we've got this kind of base of some people will be like business founders, or maybe they're even more established business owners, and then others might be operating in a solo capacity. So we try where we can to build different sessions for different needs, things that are interesting. Obviously, these days people are talking a lot about things like AI technology and things like that. But we're really excited to have Lavanya here with us today, who's going to share more about her journey of being a founder, starting multiple businesses. The maybe not the things you always see on the surface, but the challenges that founders go through, and then how she sort of overcame them with the power of community as well. So that's the topic for today, and we're really excited to have you here, Lavanya. So thank you so much for joining us, and maybe you just want to kick off by doing a little introduction to yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'll share my slides first.
Yep.
Okay, let me do this technical stuff.
I see we have Grace here as well. Hi, Grace. Grace has also done a fantastic session
Grace is
before.
everywhere.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Hello, welcome everyone. I'm so grateful you're here today. Before we dive in, let me quickly thank Jamie from Do a Circle for having me. And let me quickly introduce myself and why I'm passionate about this conversation. My name is Lavania Rosie. I'm the founder of three distinct brands. Dance Embassy, which I've been running for like 15 years now. It's a global dance, fitness, and wellness platform that empowers people through movement. And Tinted, which is like 6 years now, is a private collective for women entrepreneurs built around quiet ambition, community, and growth. And some of the members are on this call. And BFFs Wine Tell, which is my latest venture with my best friend Debashri. It's a podcast and platform for raw, honest conversations about life, relationships, and resilience. I also had the privilege of hosting the world's first Bollywood podcast with Audible, and this was over COVID. And it was a really unforgettable experience. And I've worked with corporates to build cultures of well-being. But here's what I want you to know most. Behind all of that, I've lived the struggles many founders don't talk about. Burnout, identity loss, financial mistakes, and the loneliness of starting from scratch. And through it all, I've learned one truth: resilience is not built alone, it's built in community. That's why today's session is not just about me telling my story, it's about you reflecting on yours. So I want to make this as interactive as possible. You can use your phone, you can have a paper or pen. I'm a paper and pen person, so feel free to pen down whatever that I'm sharing, and I also love to hear your thoughts. So before I start, I would like us to do a bit of grounding meditation. I love to do this. I'm going to play some music, but I think when I play the music, you can't really hear my voice. So I'm going to just do away with the music. I just decided on that now. Before we begin, let's ground ourselves. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Place both feet on the floor, hands resting gently in your lap. And take a deep inhale and exhale. Now feel your shoulders drop. Feel your body soften. Let go of the day behind you. Let tomorrow's to-do list wait. For the next hour, give yourself permission to simply be here. Now let's take one more deep breath in and out. Now gently open your eyes, and in the chat, Can you type just one word for how you are arriving into this space tonight? Let me see if I can see that chat. Can I see that chat?
Yeah, yeah, I can tell you as well. I can
Oh,
shout them
perfect.
out.
Okay,
So
that'll be
we're
great.
on. Yeah, I'll add my
Uh,
one in as well.
So, just one word, how you're arriving into this space tonight.
Nice. Adeline said peaceful.
Oh,
That's
nice.
that's a great place to be. Yeah.
Love that. Anyone else?
I'm gonna be the opposite of that. Sorry, Adeline. I'm gonna say chaotic on my side. Yeah, it's
Ay, ay, ay.
end of the quarter, so there's a lot of frenzy around trying to get things all
Totally
sorted.
understand that.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Push
move
says
on.
curious as well. So yeah, please keep them coming in. I'll shout them
Okay,
out as they
yes.
come.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to talk about my growing up years. My childhood was anything but easy. I was the only child. People think that even you're the only child, you're given everything. You're grown up with a golden spoon. Nothing like that. I grew up with tiger parents. Expectations were sky high. Like even if I get a 99 over 100, they will like, oh my goodness, torture me for that one mark that was missing. Our home was filled with fights, often about money. Sometimes the police even had to show up. We lived in a ghetto neighborhood, Bukit Batok. I don't know if you are familiar with that neighborhood. Struggle was the soundtrack of my childhood. And deep down, I carried this hunger to escape, hunger to make something out of myself. But hunger can be dangerous also because beneath that, I battled suicidal thoughts from a very young age. I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to live that way anymore. And I love this quote by Joyce Meyer. I will be quoting her a lot. She says, "You can't go forward and stay stuck in the past at the same time." And that hunger I carried was my push to look forward, not backward. So I want you all to take out your phone, your paper pen, and I want you to like finish this sentence. At 20, I was hungry for. I want you to take a minute to write, no judgment, just honesty. All right, moving on. Just keep that aside. I'm going to move on. I thought escape was freedom. I escaped through relationships, making sure I had the upper hand, men at my mercy, toxic all over again. I joined Singapore Airlines. On the outside, it looked glamorous, but in the inside, I was like drowning. I loved the money I was making, but I hated the lifestyle. And behind my back, I was even called a prostitute. I quit. I joined CPF, working in the investment department, stable, but mundane. And my soul was starving. So I pushed harder. I took a study loan. I gave tuition. I danced part time just to finance my bachelor's in psychology. I was young, full of energy. But looking back now, I wonder how did I even survive that period? And again, Joyce Meyer quote, "Courage is fear that has said its prayers and decided to move forward anyway." So that was me pushing forward even when I was afraid. So before we go further, I want to take a quick pulse check with all of you. I'm going to launch a poll with three simple words: surviving, striving, thriving. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just about where you find yourself in this season of life. Let me pull out that poll. This is it. You can scan it with your phone and do the poll. Just to give you a short description of each. So, surviving is when life feels heavy. You wake up and your main goal is just to get through the day, like how that person in the picture that I've chosen is drowning and trying to stay afloat. So, the key feeling is exhaustion. Striving is when you're pushing forward, chasing goals, hustling hard, you're making progress, but it comes with pressure. And the key feeling to this is restlessness. And thriving is when you're not just surviving or striving, you're flourishing. Your work, relationships, and inner life feel aligned. And the key feeling here is abundance. So do take this poll. I would love to know where you are at. A lot of you say striving. Interesting. Any
Yeah,
more?
we have thriving as well in the chat. I
Oh,
think
that's
maybe
great.
maybe they're unable to. I mean, it worked for me scanning it, by the way. I did my one. Um,
I
Can have
didn't
that one
swipe.
afterwards as well.
The,
But thriving, fantastic. That's good to hear, Sophie.
I know. That's a
Maybe we
good
can go
news.
into that a little bit later. Yeah,
Yeah.
love to hear it.
So, thank you for being honest. Whether you are surviving, striving, or thriving, it's not permanent. It's a season, and seasons always change. So, in your notebook or your phone, I want you to write down, why did I choose this option today? Be honest, this is just for you. Take a minute and write down this. All right, ready for some drama story of my life?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got married very young, not by choice, but by force, kind of. I think I was like 22 years old when I got married. That was my first marriage. I stayed in that marriage for like 5 years, but we were more like housemates. And in those years, I lost my identity completely. And when I finally divorced, it felt like the bottom fell out. Like that was my first real collapse because I felt really alone. And you cannot have a positive life and a negative mind. And that's exactly how I lived during that marriage. And but I lived through it alone, not exactly alone. I didn't have the support of family, but my friends were there. So I always say that my friends are my family. And I want you all to reflect on your own life at this stage, at a time where you lost yourself. So you can write that down. You can just think about it. Like, what was it? What was a time when you lost yourself? Just write it down. And moving on. So when I got married again, I was 30 this time, 29, 30. And my husband and I were trying for a child. And month after month, nothing was happening. So one day, my mentor, who is also my Bible study teacher, she is like 96 years old now. She just turned 96 a week back. She told me I had to break my generational curse. It sounded harsh, but it made me realize there was a part of me I hadn't faced yet, my inner child. So my therapist, Kathleen, guided me through prayer and meditation. I remember breaking down and sobbing. And then I saw a bright white light. It was like a movie scene, and I felt a hand warm and steady on my shoulder. I opened my eyes and I asked Kathleen, "Did you just touch me?" And she said, "No, I never moved from this chair." And the very next day, I had an appointment with my gynae to discuss IVF, and I forgot my medical report. My husband was like, "You're not serious about this baby." And then we were fighting in the clinic. And then we went into the doctor's office, and the doctor told me to go get a urine test. And the urine test results came out, and that's when I found out I was already 1 month pregnant.
Um,
And that moment taught me this. Sometimes when we finally let go of control, you heal your inner child, you let go of those like past hurts, traumas, miracles can enter. And that was my breakthrough that arrived in the form of life itself. And that was my firstborn. His name is Elias. And at this time, I want you all to write in your journal, when in my life have I felt guided by something bigger than me? Take a minute to write this, please. Okay, ready for another drama of my life? Netflix should produce a movie on me, you know. This one, I call it the darkest night of. I might go emotional talking about this again, but I want to share this vulnerably. So after my miracle child, I thought the storms were over, but life had more. Postpartum hit me hard. I didn't seek help. And then COVID came. I kept creating content, and then a student I once taught reached out. She worked at Audible and she said, "You'd be perfect to host the world's first Bollywood podcast." And I did. It felt amazing. It paid well. I mean, I didn't do any classes during COVID and I didn't have any income. So I was really thankful for this opportunity. So that's when the life is going up, right? Then down comes the episode of my darkest night. After my second child, postpartum hit me even harder. And then I lost everything. Ashta, who's on this call, Edlyn, who's on this call, would know my story. I invested hundreds and thousands into a friend's business. Obviously, she's not a friend anymore because it turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. And I'll never forget one night. I was sitting in the dark and my newborn curled in my arms. Just a few feet away, my husband was screaming at me. Inside my head, these words: "You are useless, you ruin everything, they'll be better off without you." Um, yeah, so, and I was thinking, from which balcony should I jump down, you know? It, I felt hopeless. But again, I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to exist like that anymore. And I just want to say at this point, like when you are in a storm, I know a lot of people on this call are facing that storm right now. Don't be afraid. Remember that storms don't last forever. I couldn't see it then, but now I know it's true, and I'm glad I did not make a very rash decision at that time. So in the chat, I want you to type yes or no, just yes or no. Have you ever believed a lie about yourself? And I want you to write this down. One lie I've told myself, one truth I want to believe instead.
So you say one lie you've told
One
yourself.
lie I've told myself, and one truth I want to believe instead. So just write it down in your journal. We don't need to know. Whew. Okay. So that was the part where I wanted to shut everything down. Dance Embassy, Tinted, and then my best friend Dipashri, she said, "Everyone is going to show up for you. Don't let them down." These were the words she said. I remember when I just didn't want to go for a gala night that I was arranging for Tinted. And I just didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to dress up. I didn't want to show up. But I did. And it taught me, looking at all the ladies that turned up that night, it taught me that I was actually building something concrete here, and I should show up for these ladies who showed up for me that night. And so I did, step by step. I started rebuilding, and life got comfortable. My community was thriving. Dance Embassy was doing really well. I was doing corporate classes back to back. And then came another twist. My husband gave me 6 months and said, "We are moving to Abu Dhabi. I can't stand Singapore anymore. I can't live here anymore. Stress is killing me. Let's move. I want to be nearer to my parents." I didn't agree to move to Morocco because I wasn't ready for Morocco. So we picked a midpoint, and which was Abu Dhabi. And I'm really thankful because people like Push have introduced me to his friends and family here. So I didn't feel like I was starting from scratch again. I just felt like I needed a change, and I'm just connecting with people again, which I love to do. So I went to networking events. I met women, and even my visa officer at the office 2 days back asked for my contact because she wanted Bollywood classes. She asked me, "What's your visa for?" I said, "Oh, I need a visa to teach Bollywood classes." I said, "Oh, I would love to learn with my daughter." And I'm like, "Okay, this is happening for me."
Nice.
I was very I embraced it. I knew that this is going to be good from now. I approached studio owners, and now I'm planning my next launch, which is my classes with the studio. But the rebuild isn't glamorous. Huh? You can ask my husband. For the past month, I was moaning and whining, and I'm like, I wasn't myself. But it's brick by brick, and each brick counts. So, three brands, three lessons that I like to live by. Through this rebuild, I also realized something. Every brand I've built has taught me a different lesson. Dance Embassy taught me resilience, that movement heals. People, if you find yourself really stressful, you can have two left feet, two left whatever. Just put on your favorite music and just groove. It makes you feel instantly better. And I also realized that you can build a global business from passion. And a week back, when my best friend was here, we were sitting down and we were doing up my resume together. And I realized how small I was playing when she actually pointed out how much I've done with the company. I've been telling myself, oh, I've done workshops in Paris and Bangladesh and Malaysia. And she said, where else? I'm like, yeah, just these few countries. And she's like, you have done so much more on Zoom. Where have people tuned in from? I say, oh, they have tuned in from Australia, they have tuned in from Spain. And suddenly I'm like naming all the countries that I've taught dance to. So, yes, from passion, you can build a global business. And Tinted taught me the power of community. Women holding space for one another creates change faster than we can alone. We also need the men. Let's not forget about them. They are our cheerleaders. And BFFs Wine and Tell taught me honesty. That connection comes when we dare to have real messy conversations. So three different brands, but one truth. They can all empower us through connection. And here's what I've learned as an entrepreneur. You cannot do it alone. Practical ways to create support systems. So these are the ways that I have done, and I've proven that it works. Find a circle that reminds you who you are when you forget. Community is not a luxury, it's survival. And communities like Doer Circle, Tinted, Launchpad, um, they're amazing circles. So I'll encourage you to be a part of them. Have at least one truth teller, someone who will call you out with love when you want to quit. For me, that's my best friend Debashri. And structure recovery as much as hustle is so important. Self-care is not optional. It's the system that sustains you. So nobody can be set free from a problem until they are willing to admit they have one. So rebuilding for me began with that kind of honesty. So my next journal prompt for y'all is right now, I am rebuilding. Continue your sentence from there. Yeah, it is very hard. How do we build resilience to rebuild myself? You need to be knocked down several times to build that resilience. It's not easy at all. That's why you need that one person. I can be your person, Jaya, anytime.
Down as well. I think it's
All right. So these are the three truths that I carry with me. Clarity. Don't lose yourself in who others want you to be. I learned that in my first marriage when I lost my identity, I was a wreck. But when I found myself, that's when life started to happen. Not all great, but even when you were at your lowest, because you knew who you are, you will be able to survive it. Community, again, your circle will hold you when you can't hold yourself. I have rebranded Tinted from Tinted whatever. Tinted is now also a support circle. I have lost three ladies whom I knew personally to suicide because they couldn't handle the stress of life and business. And I want to protect these ladies in my circle right now at Tinted. And that's my goal. We hustle together, but we also go through the pain together and we create that safe space for each one of us to show up, to share, and to help each other. And courage, every bold move looks messy before it's meaningful. So, courage is fear that has said its prayers again, but every single one of us is braver than we think. And I want you to share in the chat below which of these three do you need most right now? Is it clarity? Is it community? Or is it courage? And if you are vulnerable enough, this is a safe space. Tell us why you chose that particular option: clarity, community, or courage.
I'll keep you now on the chat, by the way. So
Yeah.
if
Anyone
anyone
want to
wants to
put it in the
share.
chat? Please put in the chat what you need most right now: clarity, community, or courage.
I don't mind going as well. Jaya said clarity and courage, making informed decisions. You need to have clarity and courage to take the risks to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I also put courage, Jaya, as well. From my point of view,
Yeah.
I think it's, especially when you're juggling work and family things, then, sometimes, yeah, making like even just things about school for our older son, things like that, you have a lot of doubt in your mind, am I making the right decision and so on. So the kind of courage to say, right, actually,
Yeah.
we have to give this a try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually curious from your point of view as well, Lavanya, as well. So obviously sorry to hear about that situation where you'd put that investment in and your friend who you thought was someone that you could trust and it didn't
Yeah.
turn out to be the case. Did that or how did that impact you as a founder when it comes to taking risk? Because we know that business founders need
Yeah.
to take some element of risk, but did that stop you in some way, or did you were you able to almost compartmentalize that?
Okay, so I think it differs for I'm going to be gender biased here. I think it differs
Mm,
for men and women when I saw how I was reacting versus my husband. I took it very personally and emotionally, and I didn't want to do anything, any risk. I even stopped investing. And it took me a good 1.5 years to go back into investing again. But my husband, he took it as a business failure, and he is the numbers guy. And he was very disappointed. He was very hurt as well. But
Mm.
it didn't stop him from taking risk. So he was able to compartmentalize that.
Yeah, that's not easy though. So yeah, especially when it's a friend, I think in particular,
Yeah,
maybe if it was like a business relationship where you feel like,
exactly.
okay, there's more of an acquaintance
Yeah,
type thing to it. But
yeah,
yeah, that's very difficult. So, but yeah, no, thank you for sharing that as well. I just think because I think I know when we speak to a lot of founders that the topic comes up about how do they manage that risk. I suppose it kind of comes back to this point about courage as well, of being able to do that, and
yeah.
relatively uninhibited. But of course, there's always going to be those doubts and uncertainties.
Yeah, I had to go through therapy. Like, I will recommend therapy for everyone. It's like shopping for the best therapist. I've gone through a few therapies before I found the one, but please do not shy away from therapy. You cannot do this alone. You need someone to guide you through.
Yeah, agree. I found that very
Right.
helpful as well.
Next, this is a very powerful meditation that I've done with my group of mentors at Tinted during our thank you dinner last year. And I must tell you, almost every one of them had a teary eye at the end of it, including my husband, who I thought had zero emotional intelligence. um, but I want to share this with all of you. It's called A Letter to Your 20-year-old self. Every time I do this, I have goosebumps. And I want you to all close your eyes right now. Take a deep breath in and out. And with your next breath, imagine time softening. The years between then and now dissolve. Gently, your mind drifts back to when you were 20. Where are you? What does life look like? Feel the energy of your youth, the excitement, the uncertainty. What dreams fill your heart? What fears weigh on your mind? What do you believe about success, love, and happiness? What do you crave and what do you run from? Who do you wish would see you more clearly? Now picture yourself, your present self, walking towards your 20-year-old self. They don't see you yet, but you feel the connection. You know what they will go through. You know the victories, the heartbreaks, the lessons waiting ahead. You, with all the wisdom, experience, and strength you have gathered, they don't know yet what you know now, but you do. What do you want to tell them? What do they need to hear? Take a deep breath. Feel your heart opening with compassion. Imagine placing a hand on their shoulder. They turn and see you. What do you say? You take 2 minutes now to begin your letter. You can write that letter to your 20-year-old self now. You can take 2 minutes to do that. take a few more seconds to write that letter, or you can continue later. Just
It was
want to
just
say,
uh,
ah,
just
yeah,
another comment from Push in the chat as well, just while we
yes,
were doing this as well. Thanks for sharing as well. It says clarity and courage, risk taking, fear of unknown. I suppose given what I'm building, there is no straight path ahead and lots of uncertainty along the way. One was due to the US tariffs levied, delayed my US launch, but I ended up launching in Malaysia instead. Hashtag entrepreneur life. Yeah. When one door maybe closes or window closes, then another one can open. So it sounds like you've done what a good entrepreneur does, which is be ready to pivot whenever you need to
yeah.
in that sense. And yeah,
Push is
I hope that's
always
going well.
pushing forward. I love him.
Yeah.
Yes, love it. So that letter isn't just for your 20-year-old self, it's for the version of you today that still needs reminding. And I just want to share that you can suffer the pain of change or the pain of staying the same. So let this letter be your step toward change. And I know I didn't take 1 hour. Seriously didn't think that I will take 1 hour, but
It's okay.
I want to
No, we have
thank
some
you
time.
for your time, your energy, and your courage tonight. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you thought of it or any questions that you want me to address.
Yeah, and this is a good time for everyone. Obviously, I know we've had some discussion in the chat, so please keep that coming. If you have a particular question and you want to ask it anonymously, you can use the Q&A button at the bottom because I appreciate sometimes you don't feel maybe comfortable putting your name next to something. That's absolutely fine. If you'd like, you can raise your hand and we can unmute you and you can ask your question verbally if you don't want to write it down. That's not a problem. But yeah, we have a bit of time. Obviously, there's probably about 10-15 minutes before we wrap up. So would love to get people's perspectives on that as well. Was there any more update, by the way, Lavanya, on the poll you did earlier of this thriving, surviving? Did anybody add
Thriving,
something?
yeah, a lot of thriving.
Oh, great. Well, that's good to hear as well. Yeah. Um, uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
four,
Adeline said
no,
never easy
sorry,
shared.
four, a lot of striving actually. Sorry, four voted striving.
Yeah, maybe a question then on that point then, like from your point of view, given that you've gone through that roller coaster in that sense, like how did you move from a striving position into a thriving position? Like what would you say is like maybe some good tips that somebody, not necessarily as a founder, but maybe just even
Yeah.
from their sort of personal point of view as well as professional.
So to be honest, that thought of striving always comes into my mind. But gratefulness, man, like I think it's underrated how much we can be grateful for. Like during that night when I thought of ending my life, I just had to look at my two kids, and one I was praying for and one happened after a miscarriage. Like if this was not the man I was meant to live, then what else? So there are lots of pockets of reminders around you to remind you what's the life that you were meant to live. And that's what I look at. For me, to be honest, it's my children.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be difficult times, but it's a good grounding point, right? To realize like how much
Yeah.
and also people that love you as well, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah, people who love
unconditionally.
you. Yeah, a friend was telling me, how do you manage to like message me whenever I'm feeling down? And I said, I don't know. I just maybe have that connection. I
Yeah.
really believe that you have to be also grateful for people around who just message you, hey, how are you? What are you doing? You never know that you might be lifting that person's
Well, Alika's a good example of explaining just how, there's different energies in the atmosphere in that sense, right? And so I would imagine in that sense you've got that connection and
yeah,
you're on that frequency together. So you would
yeah,
be able to sense those things in that sense. So
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
exactly.
See, there's another point here from Samiha as well, saying awesome amount of courage having you to share honestly without filters. in the spirit of helping listeners. So thank you
Ah, my
from them as well.
pleasure. I have a lot of
Yeah.
drama stories. I had to pick the two most dramatic ones, you know. If you know me
No, but
more, I can tell you more stories.
but they're all the chapters of what makes you
Oh,
unique and part of your
exactly.
life and helped shape the learning and everything like that. It's not a fairy tale book, or even a fairy tale book has the ups and downs in that sense as well. But it's not always like everything wraps up into a nice happy ending at that point. So
Yes,
I think
so
the
true.
real journey and the stories are the things that people
So true. And
resonate with
ultimately,
the most.
how you help other people with your stories. I know a lot of them feel shy on sharing their personal stories, but they don't know how much power those personal stories of yours can have in helping someone else.
Yeah, and push there. Thanks for sharing your journey. Love to hear. Um, love the workshop. Sorry, self-love and find ways to heal yourself is very important. Yeah, absolutely. And that's and I guess maybe then you said obviously the gratefulness, the mindfulness, things like that as well. But from a founder's point of view, especially when you're operating solo, so we do work with a lot of very early stage founders. Like, eh, what would you recommend that they could do in that sense? Is it just reach out to friends, family, that kind of thing? Would I suppose there's communities like you mentioned as well. There's
Yeah,
another great avenue. I
yeah,
suppose there can be positive to social media as well, I suppose, in that sense, if
yeah.
you've got that. No, no.
I think it's really important to follow like really positive accounts when you have a social media and not keep comparing your progress to another person's progress. That's when you like fall into a
Mm,
dark hole and you're like, I'm never doing enough, and that comparison starts, and then you're never satisfied. So be intentional with who you surround yourself with, who you follow. I've stopped following women who are like constantly talking about their luxury lifestyle, their jet lifestyle. It's very I wouldn't say toxic, but it starts to make me feel as though I'm not doing enough with my life. So I've stopped following such accounts, like follow real, genuine accounts. And also I know that I love to follow Push on LinkedIn. Like this the post that he always posts is about how he connects with people and the relationships that he forms with them, that also shows ultimately in his business as well. And Sophie's also a heart-filled person. She connects with people heart to heart, and people naturally gravitate towards you. I learned that while I'm like building my business. I told you I feel like I'm starting from scratch here. I just put myself out there vulnerably, just be myself in networking sessions, and people just gravitate towards you. And I'm an introvert. No one believes it when I say I'm an introvert, but I'm an extrovert now. But it just makes me very anxious to like meet new people. But when you just be yourself, people just gravitate towards you. And Jamie, for example, when I met you the first time, you just had that very calm
mm.
demeanor about you, and it was just so nice to connect with you. And yeah, so it's just being yourself, literally, because when you start faking yourself, it can't last. You can't
Yeah.
last, your business can't last.
Yeah, I think it's something that will eat you up over time if you're trying to kind of create this facade. And the best thing, people love you for who you are, don't try to
Yeah.
be somebody else.
And
But
to be
yeah,
honest, I have so many haters. You have no idea. People think behind this beautiful smile, I only have friends. Oh, trust me, I have haters as well. But they're all just white noise. You just have to learn to
yeah.
block them off. And if anybody leaves like a negative comment, like Zed Asta, I don't know if it's Zed, Zed Asta, the editor of The Peak, he told
Hmm.
us in our community, like he receives negative comments as well on his TikTok. He just deletes them, then they don't
Yeah,
exist anymore. They're all just behind
yeah,
the computer screen, making your life difficult. So just delete them.
yeah. Or use the block button or something like that, because
Exactly.
the best, yeah,
Yeah, it's all
it
there for
comes
a
back to
reason.
self-care, right? Mental
Yeah,
health, but just don't let those things get overwhelming for you because it is, yeah, it can be quite difficult. And yeah, I
yeah,
see a great comment here from Push as well saying be yourself because everyone else is taking it. Absolutely.
yeah. I like that. Yes,
Yeah,
correct. I saw that quote.
fantastic.
Who was it that said it? I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but yeah,
I love it. Yeah.
it's so short and sweet.
Yeah.
You know,
And Sophie, extrovert with the right people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's me. Or just give
and
me
that's okay.
alcohol,
Yeah,
I'll become an
yeah,
extrovert.
yeah. I think that comes back to self-care. It's protecting your self-worth and your value by, you don't want to give that to everybody in that sense, right? Of course,
Oh
you want to
yeah.
try and give as selflessly as you can in that sense, but you only have so much energy, resource, time, everything like that. So you have to protect yourself on that too.
Yeah, yeah, totally. You should start a podcast, Jamie. You have such a nice voice. Just
Oh,
nice,
thanks.
nice things, insightful things that you say.
I try, yeah, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, in a way, these sessions feel a little bit like that in that regard. But I love doing them. As you can probably tell, like I just think it's great to hear those perspectives. I think it can hopefully inspire other members as well, because
Yeah,
it can be a lonely journey, right? If you're a
yeah.
freelancer or you're a business of one or a solopreneur or someone like that, you can, I mean, I've never been in those shoes exactly, but I worked for a company before where I was the first person on the ground setting up in Asia. And
Mm,
at first, when we did the interviews and everything, they would turn around to me and they would say, "Oh, are you sure you're okay? Is it gonna, is this gonna be a challenge just you?" And I'm like, "No, it's okay. Like, I know I've got to do the business development, so I'll kind of get my head down on it." But then
mm,
you get to a certain point where you crave that connection and you think, I wish there were a few other people around to talk with and share in that journey. So I think, yeah, you have to have enough space to be able to do, yeah, maybe you can do a bit of head down and
yeah,
build, but you also need to pause and connect with other people as well in that sense. So yeah,
so
it
true.
isn't easy. So this is his podcast. Yeah. Maybe a little bit, but yeah, yeah. I'm only here, yeah, representing Do So in that sense. But
See,
yeah.
you have two votes now for a podcast. Start already.
All right, let's get it going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll do it. We just need to think of the topic, right? And
Make
we'll do
that
something for
three.
sure. But yeah, I don't know if there's anybody else. I know we only got a couple minutes left. If anybody wanted to unmute and add their own perspective or anything, you're very welcome to. No judgment on our side in that sense. Like, I appreciate if you don't either. No pressure. Um,
Yeah. Or they can unmute themselves and tell us what they do. I would love to know. I mean, I know most of them.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what Samihan does. Push, not
Let me.
everybody knows what you
Oh,
do.
look, what I'm gonna do is
Ah, there we go.
I'll unmute people in that sense, but you can stay
Yeah.
muted if you don't really want to add in anything. But yeah, feel free to
Come on,
to
let's
unmute.
go. Introduce yourselves.
Jaya, do you want to start maybe, or push maybe?
Hey,
Because I know you've both
yeah.
been writing a lot in the chat.
I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me?
Can,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, can
Oh,
hear you.
awesome. Well, thanks. Thanks for unmuting me. And Lavanya, nice to see you. And you're still smiling, so things must be all good in Abu Dhabi.
Good. All
Excellent,
good.
excellent,
Thank
excellent.
you.
Well, yeah, I mean, this has been quite an interesting session. Of course, you've said things, you haven't really sugarcoated anything that you've said, and you've said it as it is, which is amazing. So, keeping it real, I think that's very good. And many of us entrepreneurs sometimes forget that, we try to always have a mask sort of in front so that we're always giving this very positive outlook and everything's hunky-dory, everything's good, but it's not mostly not the case because you're actually multitasking and you're doing a lot more things. So to your point, I think this whole thing about community and finding that one person who really tells you that you've come a long way and reassures you is very important. It could be your spouse, kids, friends, family, whatever be it. But it's definitely important to have that sense check because it's a slippery slope and it's a very lonely journey. Sometimes it can be. But for the good things, of course, feed the positive. I think that's very, very important. I think focus on things that really matter and don't really focus much on what people are saying or thinking because hashtag haters gonna hate, 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 right?
Yeah.
So just keep doing what you're doing, and I think stay positive. And a short note on what I'm doing, I launched my startup, my brand 2 years ago. It's called Haldi. It's a mix of the word haldi, which is turmeric in Hindi, and healthy.
Hmm.
It's the world's first mint with turmeric. So essentially get all the goodness of turmeric without the aftertaste and doesn't stay in your teeth. And we've launched in Singapore, in quite a few places, Singapore Airlines, Intercontinental Hotel, just expanded to Malaysia.
Wow.
Ambition is to take it to the Middle East as well. So Lavanya, hopefully you'll have those as well. And yeah, just building, just following my passion, staying true to myself, cutting the noise, not really having a very herd mentality in terms of following what everyone is doing. I'm finding my own niche and just backing myself up and taking calculated steps, which is why actually had written this thing that the courage and the clarity are things sometimes we forget because a lot of things are very uncertain, especially in the life of an entrepreneur. Yeah, but just take a day at a time and yeah, just keep building on your dream.
Love that. Yeah. I mean, just what you just mentioned, two of the biggest brands in the world in that sense that you've got now, using your product in that sense. So that's a big pat on the back in that sense as well. So it's good to reflect on that as well. Just it's not easy to get to develop those relationships. So
Yeah, and I think the one thing I've learned in the journey is that you have to be honest. I think if you're building a brand and you're very honest in terms of what you're offering, and Lavanya mentioned that it's just the way you meet people, that honesty shows. So you're not in it for more like a transaction. You're actually in it so that you can build something together. And community really plays a big role. And I totally believe. So that's, I suppose, one of the ways that it comes across the way I'm talking to people and the way I'm representing my brand, this through that honesty. So yeah, so absolutely, and also exploring different channels. I think Lavanya and I had met 2 years ago at an event which I had no idea that I will end up going to. But it was good, those opportunities come and you sort of seize the day. And yeah, we're going quite a few places. We just launched in Fitness First in Singapore as well. So it's exciting. Health and
yeah,
wellness is calling.
Yes. Amazing.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Push.
Very welcome.
Anybody else want to share a minute or so? No pressure either way. I know put a few on the spot here, but
Sophie, are you there, Sophie?
this session sometimes I do pick on people, but
Yeah,
I think in
me
this
too.
instance maybe I will just sort of unmute someone and say, right, yeah, it's your turn. Okay.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Sophie.
Hi, nice to meet you, Jamie. I mean, you can't see me, but hi.
I see your picture at least. So yeah, there we go.
Yes. I love the sharing. Thank you so much, Lavanya. I appreciate like what resonated with me was your vulnerability about entrepreneurship because honestly, it can get very lonely. I love what you represent and what Tinted is about, and spreading the word on BFF Wine and Tell as well, which, we did a podcast on. Our dear friend Daylin, who basically her child was abducted. So
Wow.
that was very intense, yet very, very important. So highlighting very crucial, important topics here. And it resonates with me because also I'm in the space of mental wellness. And what I do is I'm a somatic trauma informed coach. So I help mostly women and men, depending, just has to be referred and vetted. So I help them with their anxiety, overwhelm, and burnout. But essentially, what it is, diving into your nervous system, learning how to regulate it, and also to let go of the baggage that Lavanya so rightly spoke about. In your own time. That's the most important thing. You can't just dive into Pandora's box and be like, okay, let's marathon do this shit. Uh,
That would be good, wouldn't it? But yeah,
it would
yeah,
be
you're right.
good. I wish it worked that way because
Yeah.
all my clients who come to me, they just want it fixed, and I'm putting quotation marks like yesterday. I'm like, yeah, but healing does take time, and so you don't want to push your nervous system too much. And so yeah, that's essentially what I create, a safe space for processing and healing your past, so that you can actually let go of that baggage and run a marathon, basically. Yeah.
Amazing.
And uh, new news, by the way, I haven't spoken to you in a while, Lavania, but I had a download of a second company, which I'm gonna register on the 21st of October, and it's a big movement that I'm planning to do, which I'm very excited about. I'm gonna tell you all about it.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's really about systemic change, because the world is crashing right now. As you can see back in the UK, I'm from the UK, Jamie. So
Same.
yeah, I could tell.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of protests, lots of angry humans against corruption and, the old systems. And so I was really downloading something and looking at the planet and how there's so many natural disasters right now, and what can I actually come into the world, not just as a practitioner, but how do I make impact, and what do I want humanity to stand for? Yeah.
Amazing.
Uh,
You're from Samihan.
yeah.
Samihan is Samihan?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm here. Sorry,
Ah,
Samihan is my son's name. I'm Shrayas, and I know
oh,
Jamie pretty well.
Oh shit. Yeah, okay. Now I know you. Yeah. It's like you got
Yeah.
a hidden
Yeah,
identity. How you
I was
doing?
trying to figure out the Zoom settings. I'm not able to locate it. So it's okay. I represent my kid here. So I mean, great listening to you, Lavanya. I think, as entrepreneurs, we always tend to sit in, technical conversations on AI, on this, on trends, on that. So every now and then it's, wise and good to slow down and, just be part of a conversation on, on another entrepreneur's journey. Because sometimes just reliving or listening to the other person, kind of helps you kind of reconnect with your own journey, right? And thanks for all the pretty courageous and unfiltered sharing. I have a couple of things that I wanted to just quickly add to everything
Please,
else
yeah.
that you and everybody others like Posh and Sophie have shared. So one thing that I've learned in my entrepreneurial journey post my corporate life is that doing some sort of charity, which I never used to do during my corporate life when I was making much bigger bucks, is a lot more therapeutic than I had imagined it. That's one. And second is I am a believer. I've become a believer of paying things forward and just lending a helping hand without expecting something in return. This was not me, during the dog eat dog days of corporate. So I think it's just that the world. I've seen that the universe comes together, and the more you kind of help people, there will always be a time when you will be at your deepest or darkest, like you said, when you will get support from out of nowhere when you're least expecting it. So yeah, I these were a couple of things that I just wanted to add, from my experience. And what I do, okay, this is my second venture. I began my post corporate life as a cloud kitchen F&B entrepreneur, which I ran out of Malaysia for 3 years. I sold that, and since then I've been an executive coach and business consultant. Um, so over the last few months, I've been working on something which when Jamie doesn't know about, which I'll share with him, and
We've spoken a bit about this.
yeah, a
Yeah.
bit about
But
this. So I am working on cross pollinating the learnings from the world of sports and elite athletes into business and leadership development.
oh,
So yeah,
wow.
I'm an executive coach working and specializing on something on those lines. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, and I think you'll be joining us on a session at some point, right? I think I know that's overdue. So
I'm waiting for you to give me the green signal.
yeah, I'll do it. I'll do that this afternoon. Yeah, we'll get that going.
Okay.
What about Jaya and Edlyn? Do you want to share about yourself, what you do? Or too shy? These ladies are a bit shy, I know.
Hi,
Oh,
La.
Jaya,
yeah,
go ahead.
there she comes. Okay, Edlyn.
Yes, yep. Edlyn here. I'm a lecturer in a tertiary institution. Known La for many years now, and it's always very difficult for her to say certain things very raw and unfiltered. But over the few years, she has been more vulnerable in sharing her life experiences and stories, because I know that she wants every other women and men around to understand what the pain is of going through a lot of hardships, and she wants to empower everybody. So thank you, La, for doing what you always do.
And thank you for always showing up. Edlyn, even though if I have like a 2 a.m. interview call with the US, she's there for me. So that's one of my friends showing up for me all
Yeah.
the time. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Edel. And
Thank you.
Jaya, do you want to go?
Jaya unmuted herself just now. No? Okay. All right.
No problem. Hi, and thanks for sharing your LinkedIn. Yeah, feel free,
Yeah, that'd be
anybody,
a
if you want to
great
add your
idea.
LinkedIn in, it'd be great to keep
Yes, please.
conversations going.
Sorry, my boss just passed by. I had to
Oh.
attend to something.
No problem. No problem.
Wait, you're
Yeah.
still working? Isn't it like past office hours already?
No, it's 5:36. So yeah, I only leave at 6.
Oh, okay. Tell,
Yeah.
say.
So yeah, I know Love, like I think I know Love many years back when she was a stewardess doing a dance, but I think that was many years back, donkey years, I can't remember. I actually went to one of her Bollywood class back then, but I didn't know that she would be this successful today. So
Lovely.
I really appreciate you sharing your stories in this safe space. Really, I think it's really relatable. I actually work for a corporate company. It's actually an American company called Fiji Water. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
heard Fiji Water. Yeah, I work for Fiji
Yeah.
Water. And okay, that's my main job. But now sideline, I'm launching my own cookies business on the 1st of October. And also will be doing my podcast as well as my pageant coaching. I think last we spoke about that. Yes, that will be coming up in January as well. So yeah, in between, I'm also taking up courses on master practitioner coach and NLP as well. So yeah, so along the lines, I think
Wow.
we will be doing it. Something interesting will be coming after January. So I'll keep you posted. Yeah, thank you.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's always really exciting to hear about those who are in that kind of corporate environment, then building something. Because you know, if you want to, then that can become your permanent thing in that sense as well. It doesn't have to be, of course. Like we're hearing a lot more these days. It's spoken about a lot in Singapore about the portfolio career, I guess. Like life is not just it has to be you know, you're not working a 40-year civil service job in that sense. You know, it zigs and zags and everything. So yeah, it's always fantastic to hear those stories. If we can help in any way, of course, please let us know. And love to share in that change. Great. I think we've heard from everyone some fantastic. Sounds like everyone, yeah, can see why thriving was one of the options that people picked as well. So, you know, that was great. And Lavanya, thanks so much for sharing it all with us. I think it's a great exercise for everybody, just that reflection, being present, doing those things. You know, I think yeah, I found that quite useful myself as well, just to sometimes stop and remind myself of where you're at.
I love this journaling prompts. Like I think we underestimate the power of journaling. Sometimes we just need to stop and write and reflect.
Right.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Jamie. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thanks everyone.
Great
Yeah.
evening. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.